this doe standing in 2. We have a really beautiful rear udder on this third doe. It's a lot of arch up into the escutcheon. Nice delineation in the halves of the mammary. And another, she's standing over the doe in 6th place for the mammary. When you look at the 6th doe from the rear, I like her elasticity in the mammary system and the teeth delineation when we look at her from the rear. So, nice group of mammary systems all the way through the line that we see here. This doe on 1, she's not as long as the doe standing behind her. Pretty easy to see that. I really liked the second doe when she first came in the ring. She just kind of glided around the mammary. I felt that this first doe walks a little easier around her mammary system in this last grouping. She's more angled in her rear leg set than we're seeing, and she'll grant some of that length of body to our second doe. 2/3, now this length of bone and length of body, I'm going to give her the advantage in dairy strength. We can see an obvious advantage in body capacity. This doe really is tall in the front, wonking up, and has a lot of presence when we see her at 2/3. 3/4 is more angle, more correct in her rear leg set than we're seeing in the 4th place doe. More angle, easier for locomotion walking around over our 4th doe. Our 4th doe over our 5th doe, she's more correct in her general appearance. She's tighter at the top of the shoulders, a little fuller in the crop into the front of the top line than we're seeing in our 5th place doe. 5/6, we're having the advantage in dairy strength. We're seeing a doe that's more open in the ribbing. She's a longer body doe than we're seeing in our 6th place doe. Our 6th place doe is all about the mammary system on this doe when we look at her, especially when we see her from the rear. She's higher and more capacious up into the top of the mammary than we're seeing in 7. 7/8 is having an advantage here in, she's more angular doe. We're seeing a longer rear rib, more angle set to the rear legs over our 8th place doe. This 8th place doe is a real nice long doe, and we're seeing a doe that's having an advantage in general appearance with a strong top line all the way into the rump and the nice width in the rump that we see in her over our 9th place doe. Our 9th place doe is a taller doe. We can see she's and a little straighter in the front leg when we view her from the side over our 10th doe. This 10th doe, well, maybe not quite as smoothly blended as some of the other does. I really like the balance that we see in her today. She's tall on the front, long in the rear rib, over the doe standing at the top of the 2nd line. The doe standing at the top of the 2nd line, her advantage is in her front end assembly, and her shoulders. She's a little tighter at the top of the shoulders, a little longer in the top line, and more nearly level in the chine into the loin than we're seeing in 12. 12/13, we have the advantage in length of bone, that beautiful long lean neck that we're seeing in 12/13, an advantage in the rear of her mammary system, more height and more strongly divided in between the halves of the mammary over 13. 13/14 now, all about size and scale and strength of rear legs over our 14th.